Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with the crew here.
Dave.
Nate.
And no one wanted to go.
And today we're pulling out our DMG, page 263, and we want to just talk a little bit about the proficiency die optional rule. One of our DMs that recently started running some games for us. He totally loves the optional rule, and so we've had a number of sessions to actually check it out. So what do you guys think?
Sorry, I'm over here yawning. Put me to sleep.
I like it. I enjoyed using it.
I don't. Dice generally hate me, so the more I have to roll them, the less likely I am to succeed.
So there is the for those of you who don't have the DMG or don't have it in front of you, the number pretty much works out to whatever your proficiency plus. You just double that number and roll that die. So if you have a +2, you're rolling a D4. You have a +6, you're rolling a D12, and everywhere in the middle. So you wind up getting a greater range, so you can essentially double whatever your proficiency bonus normally would be, but you also have a chance of being less accurate at it. So that's why Dave doesn't like it. Unless he's DMing, he tends to have some flubs every now and again.
Yeah, my dice hate me. When I'm DMing, on the other hand, my dice hate the players.
So he has to just convince the dice that he's DMing all the time.
yeah. Or, well, I flub as a DM with the dice too, but I don't mind so much then. So it's an interesting tidbit. It adds more randomness and chance to the game. If that's what you want, that's what you'll get out of it. You can do a lot better. You can do a lot worse.
Yeah.
So. When you have a static number, you roll the D20 and you add your plus. You have a gauge that's a much smaller number than if you were using the proficiency die, because it's like, all right, well, let's take a maximized example. 20th level, you have a +6 proficiency bonus. You probably have a +5 in your prime stat, so you have a +11 to your roll. So therefore, you're anywhere from a 12 to a 31. That you're going to be able to hit a 10 every single check.
Yeah, well, DC 10 is nothing.
DC 10 is guaranteed at that point in time.
Not anymore.
Now it's like, all right, well, you're getting that +5 stat, a D20 roll, and a D12, so your minimum is now 7. Now the chances of you rolling 2 1s are going to be light, but it can happen, and we know Dave, he's known to have that happen. But your maximum, then goes to a 37.
Ooh,
So you can really, pump out that, I just did that nearly impossible roll.
Really well.
So you say you don't like it because of the, dice hate you.
Yes.
You say you like it.
I do like it.
Why do you like it? What about this?
I don't... When I play games, I don't try and eke out all my pluses. That's not how I get satisfaction out of the game. So when I get, I had a dwarf that had a +13 to its athletics check because he was a bard and he took expertise in it. So it's kind of like, all right, yeah. Everybody's rolls go around and like, oh, I've got a 5, I've got a 13. I was like, yeah, I've got a 31, I've got a 29. It's just, it's a sure thing, and there's certain. I just like that more randomness element to it.
So because your character, who was exceptionally competent because he had expertise, and always was exceeding on the rolls, you didn't like it.
Yeah, I know that's kind of strange, but
no.
There's a bit of wonkiness to this too that you have to realize. It is far more at your advantage to do this at first level than it is at 20th level.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have at first level, you have a 1 in 4 chance of doing worse. You have a 50% chance of doing the same, and you have a 50% chance of doing better.
Well, it's kind of this. I mean, because it's always the die you use is always double what the proficiency bonus is. So it's
but I feel like if you're rolling a die with less numbers on it, your probability is much higher.
Yes, when you're
breaking even or better.
When you're rolling a D4, you have a 25% chance of doing worse, a 25% chance of doing what would be your static number, and
I see what you mean.
And a 50% chance of
the
being
plus
better.
5 when you're rolling that D10. Well,
you still have that
5 is not as getting that 5 is not as awesome as you already have a +2. Well, there's a 50% chance you do better.
Yeah,
Okay.
regardless of what
The percentage goes down. I see.
regardless of what proficiency you're using, there's always a 50% chance when you roll that die of doing better than what the number is there. But your degree of your target number or less goes up because there are more numbers on that die.
Yeah, and not only that though, but like if you're 20th level and you roll a 1 on the die, is completely you're off by 5. If you roll a 1 at first level, you're off by 1.
Good point.
With every level that you move away from that, well, every tier you move away from that initial die, it's actually easier to do worse. There's more,
like,
and how much worse you do is much bigger.
Yeah, your variable degrees goes
So
up.
I would like to not use the proficiency die after 9th level. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So and it's every DM's thing. And Scott, when he ran for us, he says, "Do you guys want to use this or not?" And there were players were like, "Yeah, let's give it a try." I think I'd probably prefer to stick to just the static proficiency bonus. It's easier to calculate everything on a character sheet. I had to redo all of my pluses for all of my skills and everything else. And now whenever you're rolling those dice, you got to pick up multiples. You're not just picking up the D20.
I mean, even like when I roll my hit points, I want to just take I like taking the average.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's actually above average.
It is, yeah.
If it wasn't, I'd roll all the time. But because it's that extra pip above, yeah. So in this case, it's not. It's a 50-50 split on whether or not
better
you
or
roll
worse.
better or worse.
And then depending on how worse can be a lot more worse.
And you were saying lower, that's really good. At higher levels, you're losing out.
Yeah, first tier, it's awesome. Like, I mean, okay, so you lost A+. Yeah. 20. Last tier you lost 5 pluses. It's a big deal, especially when your DC should be higher.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if you've got expertise, you can lose a full 10 points difference. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, it's a DM's prerogative. The one running the game gets that choice. But if you're going to contemplate using it, talk to your players, find out what they think about it, whether they want to use it or not. It's definitely fun to check out because it allows for, all right, well, I normally wouldn't be able to hit this guy, but if I roll really well on my proficiency die, I'm gonna be able to do it. So in those
chance,
in those instances, it's like, all right, yeah, this is totally awesome, and it allows you to set those crazier things, and just maybe you can pull off some really awesome stuff. You also have a greater chance for failure because you could drop 2 really low numbers on those dice. So there you go. We rolled this one out of there.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Let us know if any of you are using the proficiency die. If you think it's good, you think it's bad, you like it, hate it, love it, whatever. Put that in the comments below. While you're at it, like, subscribe, and share.
You can patronize us in a good way. Go check out our Patreon account. Let us bring you more and better content.
So check out some of that content on nerdarchy.com.
So until next time, stay nerdy.